That was quite a speech, almost an hour and a half. I was following along with the prepared text, and I think the speech was 3 times as long as the prepared text because he kept ad-libbing and deviating so much. Let's bring in our political panel. Juan Williams is a Fox News senior political analyst, and Kellyanne Conway is a Fox News contributor and former counselor to President Trump. I know you got to run to a speech, so thank you very much for joining us here. So we have sort of a very vague economic plan from Kamala Harris. I want to build an opportunity economy.
Yes.
Trump did go off topic a little bit, but for an hour at least, he's talking about very specific plans for the economy.
Yeah, I think the topic is the American economy, jobs, opportunity, prosperity, but he got very granular. Kamala Harris, John, is trying to outrun her past, and Donald Trump's channeling his as president. He's bringing us back, and he's saying, my dereg agenda, where 7 regulations out for every new one in, which really crushes manufacturing. Manufacturing in this country is a heart and soul. It's almost a $3 trillion business. They suffer disproportionately from regulations. And the fact is that if American manufacturing were an economy, it'd be the world's 7th largest. It's such a huge part of the American economy and the job production, but he got very granular. He said, look, she's against fracking. I'm for it. We're going to drill, baby, drill. But then he went further. He said, we're going to be an and war. We're going to end this war on fossil fuels. We're going to have Putin stop sourcing energy to Europe, including Eastern Europe. We were the next exporters of natural gas and oil for the first time under President Trump. I like what he's doing by explaining his tariffs, because some people say, well, you can't do that. It's not just a negotiating tool. It's an incentive to bring that industry back here. Look at the two signs behind him. Made in the USA. Autos, certainly, manufacturing, but also he's saying energy is under our feet and off our shores. You want something made in the USA? We can do that. The second sign said 15% corporate tax rate. People say, oh, that helps the corporations. When he reduced the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, which was lower than the OECD average of 23%, it leashed economic prosperity really for everyone. Those companies gave better benefits, better wages to many of their employees. They invested in research and development and inventory, and he wants to do it again. And it's a challenge to Kamala Harris to stop talking in generics and be more granular.
So something new that he brought out today was this idea of incentives for foreign companies to locate here on U.S. soil. Bring manufacturing plants here, saying, hey, we will give you the world if you come here, but if you don't come here, we're going to throw tariffs on you. The Tax Foundation found that the tariff plan adds about $625 in average taxes to American families. What do you think of this new idea of sort of a carrot and stick approach, if you will, to bringing manufacturing onshore?
You know, we've tried some of this before under President Trump, and the trade wars had a terrible effect on manufacturing here in the United States. And that's why we saw manufacturing in the United States went to its lowest level in more than a decade under the Trump administration in the past. You know, Kellyanne said he got granular. I'm still waiting for the grain here, the granular pieces, because to me, this was a speech in which he's trying to set out new policy, I guess. And, you know, Harris is narrowing the gap in terms of people saying who's doing a better job, who would do a better job on the economy. But all I heard from him was attacks on Harris, Kamala.
Well, please, for an hour and a half, Juan, come on.
Kamala is a communist.
You have the text in front of you. Don't say that.
This is pretty much just an ad hominem personal attack. And, you know, it made for like a rally-like atmosphere. It was a brash promise that he's making to make everything better. He said it'll be so easy. But the reality is, you know, even as he attacks Harris, he ignores the fact the U.S. economy right now is growing, even after COVID. It's the best on the globe. Manufacturing fell to its lowest under Trump. Right now, what we're seeing is manufacturing is growing again because of investments made by government, the kind of incentives you talk about. And what we're going to hear from Harris when she speaks on the economic issues in Pittsburgh.
When is that, by the way? We all want to be there.
She is going to say that what you need to do is incentivize companies, not countries, but companies who hire people to do better. And, you know, to me, when you hear about this stuff and you hear about what the Fed has done in terms of interest rates, you say, wait a minute, the Fed believes our economy is growing. That's why you lower interest rates. This is good news. So to me, the true record is government spending reached new highs under Trump. Manufacturing went down. Today, we didn't hear any new policy. We just hear more personal attacks on Harris. Very disappointing.
National Association of Manufacturers, we produced 1.2 million new manufacturing jobs under Trump. I mean, I just can't sit here and abide these lies.
It's not a lie. It's
well,
the absolute
you sat
truth.
there with 5 pages of his speech.
And it didn't
so for you to then say there wasn't
which was
granular.
about a fifth of the total content.
It wasn't
I'm
granular.
telling you,
Yeah, well, at least he speaks. At least he has the respect.